Each year, many of Chicago's low-income neighborhoods are deprived of funds used for redevelopment. TIFs, or tax increment financing, are funds composed of taxes that are used for community improvement projects. These projects can include grocery stores, parks, shopping centers, public recreation, transportation, and so on. In order to create a project from TIF funds, there are requirements, such as the area being used to create the project must be blighted or becoming blighted. The project cannot be completed without the help of funds, and the project must be beneficial to all in the community. However, in Chicago, there is a disparity in where the funds are being used. Most TIF funds are being used for redevelopment projects in wealthier communities, which are primarily on the north side and downtown Chicago, and they are not being used as often in low-income communities, primarily on Chicago's south and west side. This creates a huge economic gap between the north, south, and west sides. The lower-income communities lack public facilities such as grocery stores, shopping centers, banks, quality schools, public recreation, paved roads, and so much more. According to the Chicago Reader, by law, TIF money is supposed to be used to eradicate blight in low-income communities. TIF money gets diverted into banks largely controlled by the mayor. This creates loopholes, allowing the mayor to spend TIF money wherever he wants. In 2014, Mayor Rahm Emanuel has decided to spend $55 million TIF dollars towards a new basketball stadium for DePaul University and a new Marriott hotel, which are both in the South Loop, an area that is neither poor nor blighted. The mayor's actions hurt low-income communities because he is not investing TIF funds where he is supposed to. The lack of redevelopment in these communities prevents the communities from flourishing and makes them feel undesirable, resulting in creating unincorporated neighborhoods that are not included socially and economically in the city. In low-income communities, the jobs available are usually minimum wage jobs. In the Social Class and Hidden Curriculum of Work by Jean Anion, Anion explores a variety of elementary schools to relate the social-economic status of the families attending the school and the quality of the education from the school. She observes from the working-class schools, which had families who were at or below federal poverty level, the occupations of the parents of the children who attended the school. The most common occupations were storeroom or stockroom workers, pipe welders, boiler makers, assembly line operatives, gas station attendants, maintenance workers, and security guards. Most of these jobs correspond to the work located in the area. A lot of factories are present in impoverished areas, and a lot of minimum wage work is factory work. There are also a lot of mini-marts and corner stores present in these neighborhoods, which offer only minimum wage jobs and contribute to unhealthy eating. Low-income communities suffer from a limited choice of jobs due to dysfunctioning or unfunctional workplaces that creates blight in the area. In an article from The Most Popular Tool, Tax Increment Financing and Political Economy of Local Government by Richard Briffault, Briffault states, TIF was originally designed and justified as a policy to alleviate consequences of blight, and finding of blight remains a legal requirement for the creation of a TIF program in 33 states. This includes Illinois. However, state courts have transformed the meaning of blight from a building of deterioration and unsanitary and unsafe conditions to a building that is underdeveloped. This allows the mayor to spend TIF money in neighborhoods that are not completely blighted. But by not eradicating the real blight that exists in poor communities, leaves the area with unfunctional or abandoned buildings that take up space. That area can be used to create public facilities and jobs which are greatly needed by the community. By de-investing in these areas, the city is allowing them to grow more and more economically behind, creating a huge gap between the rich and poor, and creating unincorporated neighborhoods.
In Always Running by Luis Rodriguez, he describes his new home in the South San Gabriel County as an unincorporated neighborhood. The county used to have many industries and factories in the San Gabriel Valley. He writes, unincorporated county territory was generally where the poorest people lived, the old barrios, which for the most part didn't belong to any city because nobody wanted them. Most of Watts and a large section of East Los Angeles were unincorporated county territory. Sometimes they had no sewage system or paved roads. They included hills, ravines, and hollows, Rodriguez 38. Luis states, sometimes they had no sewage system or paved roads, which means the territory was not a priority for the city to fix its needs. Instead, East Los Angeles was creating suburban towns all around the valley. Therefore, if Los Angeles would have reinvested money into South San Gabriel, it would have economically grown by building road pavements and creating job opportunities for the people. As stated in the most popular tool, Tax Increment Financing and the Political Economy of Local Government, written by Richard Briffault, the theory of TIF is that the revenue growth generated within a territorially defined district is earmarked, for a period of years, to pay for physical infrastructure and other expenditures designed to spur economic growth within that district. Briffault 66. If in Always Running, Los Angeles would have taken Briffault's theory of pay for physical infrastructure and other expenditures, then South San Gabriel would have grown to become a successful economic county.
Although much of Chicago's TIF funds are not used on low-income neighborhoods or smaller companies, there are TIF funds that are being used to help small businesses in targeted neighborhoods. According to cityofchicago.org, $5 million is being granted to 3 small businesses on the south side of Chicago. These businesses were chosen because not only would it help the company, but also the low-income community. Compared to how much money that has been taken from these neighborhoods to fund major businesses, has more of a negative effect on the neighborhoods than a positive. For example, Walgreens, a major company, has received multi-million dollars from Chicago's TIF funds, and that is only one major company. Also, according to Dr. Powers, the principal of Jones College Prep, even granting money to major businesses is still positively affects Chicago as a whole. Dr. Powers goes on to say,
the intent of TIF has always been to bring value to the community.
That because Chicago has been funding major businesses, it has gained Chicago revenue because of the major businesses' sales tax. Since Chicago will gain more money, it will help the community as a whole, says Powers. Dr. Powers also says that Jones College Prep's building was funded by TIFs, and says,
helps to revitalize or anchor the community.
He says by increasing the amount of students at Jones College Prep, it will increase the amount of jobs for people around the city and will help the students get jobs in the future. Jones College Prep's new building had cost the city $150 million from TIF funds. Instead of using all $150 million for Jones College Prep's new building, the city of Chicago could have used half of that money and use that towards low-income neighborhoods and small companies. For example, the manager of Star Gyros said that he wanted to make some changes in his neighborhood.
TIF funds allow cities to reinvest the tax dollars in neighborhoods to help local businesses and to provide services such as road repairs and street cleaning. However, instead of reinvesting in low-income neighborhoods to create a better environment for the people, the Chicago TIF funds are being invested in wealthier parts of the city. The city should invest in the low-income neighborhoods more by creating programs to assist the local businesses and to renovate the rundown neighborhoods. Although there could be a loss of funds if the businesses do not make enough profit after the assistance, the programs could bring a rise in tourism in the neighborhoods, which would bring more money into the area.